It's 02:34 inches the morning, the 22nd of October 2025. Over the dark waters of the South China Sea, near Subi Reef, the air crackles with tension. On the deck of the USS Ronald Reagan, alarms explode into life. Radar operators shout as multiple blips appear fast, closing, and silent. Pilots sprint toward their F-35C, engines screaming awake. Outside, faint flashes flicker beyond the horizon missiles already in flight. "This is not a drill," the captain barks. Battle stations now. Within seconds, the carrier group braces for impact. The night sky glows faint red as the first interceptors launch. Each streak of light carries a prayer. Below deck, sailors grip consoles, voices trembling through headsets. "Contact at 20 miles. 10. 5. The ship shudders as countermeasures deploy. Chaff exploding in glittering clouds. Then silence. A heartbeat later, a thunderous boom rolls across the sea. Somewhere out there, something just died or missed. Every man and woman aboard holds their breath. The next few minutes will decide if the Reagan survives or vanishes beneath the waves. The South China Sea is more than water and waves, it's the highway of the modern world. Every day, tankers and cargo ships cross these lanes, carrying the fuel, food, and tech that keep cities alive from Tokyo to Los Angeles. Tonight, the USS Ronald Reagan and her escorts are here to protect that flow. Their mission: keep the sea open, no matter who tries to close it. Across the horizon, China's carrier Shandong powers forward, flanked by destroyers and frigates bristling with missiles. Their decks glow red under combat lighting. The message is simple. This is Beijing's turf now. Both sides know the rule. One wrong radar lock, one flare too close, and peace collapses in seconds. Inside the Reagan's combat center, the air feels heavy. Crew whisper updates, hands trembling over touchscreens. They've trained for this moment, but no simulation matches the reality of facing another superpower. Maintain bearing, hold radar lock. The captain orders, his voice steady but low. Every heartbeat feels like a countdown. Above, F-35C circle in the clouds, their stealth shapes invisible against the night. Each jet carries precision weapons that could cripple the Shandong before its planes even launch. Yet every move risks escalation. One strike could start a war that engulfs the Indo-Pacific in flames. Allied ships, Australia, Japan, the Philippines watch and wait. Every nation in the region holds its breath. Knowing what happens here decides who controls Asia's most dangerous sea. And as both fleets drift within range, the question becomes human, not political. Who fires first, and who dares to hold back? If you were in command right now, would you strike first? Hit 1 for attack or 9 to hold fire. 2:42 local time. The radar screen lights up again. 3, then 5, then a dozen new contacts racing in from the west. "Confirmed hostile," a voice shouts. The captain doesn't hesitate. Weapons free. The USS Ronald Reagan turns starboard, clearing her escort's line of fire. Within seconds, the USS Preble launches SM-6 interceptors, white streaks cutting through the night. Above, F-35C break radio silence and dive from the clouds. Stealth systems humming. Each jet carries 2 AGM-158C LRASM's anti-ship missiles, built to slip through defenses. Fox 3, the lead pilot calls. 2 missiles vanish into the dark, skimming the sea toward the Shandong group. The Chinese fleet reacts instantly. Red icons bloom on radar. Type 055 cruisers fire HQ-9B interceptors in tight waves. Engines roar like thunder. One missile hits an F-35C, disappears in a flash. "Reagan, multiple inbound DF-21D trajectories detected," the ops officer warns. The dreaded carrier killers are coming. Electronic countermeasures now. EA-18G growlers flood the sky with jamming noise. For every missile above, cyber attacks clash below digital warfare in real time. The first DF-21D burns through the clouds, glowing white-hot. Destroyers intercept one, then another. One slips through. "Brace for impact," the captain yells. The horizon flashes, then silence. The missile splashes short, spoofed off course. The bridge erupts in brief cheers. Growlers suppress their eyes. AARGMER missiles launch, hunting enemy radars. One Type 055 goes dark. F-35C drop lower, hugging the waves. A second LRASM salvo fires, timed with chaff bursts from escorts to overload Chinese sensors. The surface picture fractures. Sea drones and fast boats surge ahead of the Shandong, their wakes blending with torpedo trails. CIWS guns chatter. Tracers rip the dark. One USN missile finds a target, a frigate erupts in flame. But new blips appear low, fast, coming from two directions at once. The CIC falls silent. Are they leakers? Or bait for something worse? The next move will decide who holds the South China Sea tonight. 2:56 local time. The ocean is chaos. Smoke and fire drift across the waves where ships once stood. The Reagan's radar is thick with cluttered ghost echoes, false tracks, and too many real ones. Second wave inbound, the air defense officer shouts. It's not over. More F-35C scramble from the carrier, engines shrieking as catapults launch them into the night. Below deck, sailors reload missile tubes and patch shrapnel holes with trembling hands. Every few minutes, a metallic thud shakes the hull, a reminder of how close the last hit came. On the Chinese side, the Shandong turns hard to port, trailing smoke but still fighting. Its escorts push forward, launching YJ-18 anti-ship missiles in rapid salvos. Their flight paths skim the sea, weaving like serpents. Multiple inbound 30+, comes the next call. The horizon lights up with streaks of flame. The Reagan responds in kind. SM-6 leap from the destroyer's launchers. Close, in guns blaze non-stop. Each burst rips apart another incoming track, but the numbers don't stop. We're getting saturated, someone yells. Keep shooting, the captain answers, eyes fixed on the tactical display. Overhead, EA-18G jam new signals. But Chinese drones slip through low and fast. Two crash into the sea, one slams into an escort's deck, detonating in fire and shrapnel. The blast rocks the formation. The captain steadies his voice. Damage control now! Minutes blur together. The bridge smells of smoke and sweat. Crew members shout status reports, half drowned by the thunder outside. Lost radar link with Spruance. Re-establishing through relay. Another hit lands, close water sprays the command windows. Still, the formation holds. Then, through the static, a new tone. Enemy carrier radar fading. Possible mission kill. The room freezes. They might have crippled the Shandong, but nobody celebrates. Everyone knows what comes next: retaliation. In the distance, new blips appear, climbing fast. Land-based launch tracks DF-26 long-range missiles from the mainland. The battle isn't over. It's only widening. The captain exhales. All stations, prepare for another wave. Outside, the sea burns red, the night alive with thunder. If you were here now, would you push forward or pull back? Comment 1 to strike or 9 to regroup. 3:12 local time. For a moment, the battlefield quiets. Smoke drifts over the waves, fires dimming on the horizon. The Reagan's crew exhales, systems reboot, pilots refuel. It feels like a pause. It isn't. Unknown contacts, bearing 185 low altitude, the radar chief calls. At first it looks like debris. Then speed spikes Mach 1.5, closing fast. Not missiles, someone mutters. Sea skimmers. The room goes cold. China has unleashed something new, autonomous drones, the size of jet skis, armed with explosives. They fly barely 10 feet above the surface, too low for radar, too fast for guns. One splits into 4. They're swarming. Telemetry shows micro jammers on their noses, blinding short-range sensors and spoofing range gates. Activate close defense. CIWS cannons roar, slicing the dark with fire. Some drones explode mid-air, others keep coming, skipping across waves. One slams into Preble's stern fireball. Another clips an F-35C on Reagan's deck, erupting in flame. Crew dive for cover as fire spreads. Hard to port! The Reagan turns sharply. Damaged teams rush topside, fighting heat and panic. Allied ships report the same hundreds of sea-skimming drones from all directions. This isn't random, the intel officer warns. They're coordinated, AI-guided. The sea itself has become a weapon. The captain steadies his voice. If they can adapt, so can we. Counter. Drone code uploads. Jammers pulse through the air. Slowly, the swarm breaks apart, signals fading one by one. Sonar pings catch a faint metallic thrum to the south, like engines wrapped in a blanket. Beyond radar range, something larger moves slow, deliberate, and closing fast. Not a drone. Something else. 3:28 local time. The sea trembles again. Sonar pings multiply. Something huge is coming from the south. Surface contact confirmed, the operator says. The screen fills with outlines, one massive shape, surrounded by smaller ones. The captain leans forward. That's no drone. It's a submarine, and it's surfacing. Water erupts as a dark hull breaks through. A Chinese Type 096 nuclear sub, its missile hatches open. The enemy is bringing ballistic weapons into the fight, an escalation no one expected. We can't let it launch, the XO warns. If it fires, the world changes tonight. Task Force Alpha, engage! The Reagan's escorts pivot to intercept. Torpedoes drop, slicing through the black water. F-35C dive from altitude, locking onto the sub's exposed conning tower. The first LRASM hits near the bow white spray and fire. The second strikes mid-ship detonation. The ocean lifts in a wall of flame. But even crippled, the submarine fights back. Its escorts Type 052 destroyers fire a final wave of YJ-18 toward the Reagan. The missiles skim the surface, too close to intercept all of them. CIWS, all batteries, fire! Guns thunder, the carrier shakes under the recoil. One missile explodes early, another slams into the sea, but one keeps coming. The impact is blinding. A shockwave rips across the deck, hurling sailors to the floor. Alarms wail. Flames rise along the port side. For a moment, no one moves, then training takes over. Seal compartments, keep her afloat, crews shout, rushing through smoke. Above the chaos, the captain grips the console, voice steady. Status on the sub? Sinking, sir. It's done. Relief washes over the bridge. Brief, fragile. Out the window, dawn glows faintly over the horizon. The first light cutting through the smoke. The Reagan floats battered but alive. Around her, burning wrecks mark where the Chinese fleet once stood. The radio crackles with reports, enemy retreating west, transmissions fading. The crew knows. They've won, but only barely. The captain looks across the wreck-strewn sea. War never ends clean, he mutters. It just waits for the next signal. If you stood on this deck at sunrise, would you see victory or warning? Comment 1 for victory or 9 for warning. 4:10 local time. The sea is quiet again. Only drifting smoke and the slow crackle of burning fuel break the silence. The Reagan's deck is scarred, her hull bruised, but she floats. Medics move between stretchers, voices hushed. No cheering, no music, just exhaustion. Status? The captain asks. Main system stable. Flight deck operational. The words sound unreal. Hours ago, survival seemed impossible. Now, somehow, they're still here. The crew gathers on deck as dawn breaks fully, painting the wreckage gold. Around them, the South China Sea lies littered with debris ships, drones, fragments of both flags. The cost is enormous, but strategically, it's decisive. With Shandong lost and the Chinese fleet retreating, control of the central sea lanes returns to U.S. hands for now. Yet even in victory, unease lingers. Reports flood in. Cyber attacks spreading across communications, grids, satellites glitching, false signals bouncing from orbit. The physical battle is over, but the digital one is still unfolding. They're not done, the intel officer says quietly. They've just shifted fronts. The captain watches the horizon. Then neither are we. He knows the next conflict may start with keystrokes, not missiles. The crew listens as he speaks over the intercom. We held the line tonight, but holding it tomorrow, that's the real test. Down below, the ship's engines hum back to life. The carrier turns slowly east, heading home through calm water that hides the scars of war beneath. Above, the rising sun cuts through the haze, light glinting off torn metal and scattered life rafts. For now, the sea belongs to no one and to everyone. Victory feels hollow, fragile, fleeting. But to every sailor watching the horizon, it's proof they can still fight and still survive. If this moment feels like victory to you, Comment 1. If it feels like the calm before another storm, hit 9. It's 6:36 local time on the 26th of September 2025. Over the South China Sea, just off Subi Bay, the calm blue turns electric. In the cavernous control room of the USS Ohio, a nuclear-powered guided missile submarine, a hard sonar ping ricochets through the red light. Unknown contact 6, and growing bloom on the screen, stacked in formation and closing fast. Topsides, the tender USS Frank cable snaps to general quarters. Hatches slam. Lines are cast. On the horizon, gray silhouettes resolve into teeth. A Type 055 cruiser, 2 Type 52D destroyers, and farther astern the vast shadow of China's brand new carrier, CNS Fujian, running sea trials with her escorts. Alarms howl, orders cut like wire. Battle stations now. Crew move with practice speed, voices drop to whispers. One wrong call turns steel into coffins. The Ohio steadies at periscope depth. The lens lifts. White wakes crisscross the surface. A 8 amperes Poseidon arcs overhead. Radio's alive. Somewhere out there, a foreign radar begins to search, and it finds them. For weeks, tension had been tightening across the South China Sea. China's newest supercarrier, CNS Fujian, slipped out on sea trials, its first big run, with a ring of escorts and fresh radar crews eager to prove themselves. At the same time, under the U.S.-Philippine defense deal, the USS Ohio arrived at Subic Bay with the tender USS Frank cable standing by. Officially, maintenance and logistics. Unofficially, a reminder that the United States still shows up when the water turns rough. Every shipping lane here is a vein feeding daily life far from these islands. Fuel, grain, electronics. If these routes choke, prices jump, shelves thin out, and allies start asking whether Washington can still keep the sea open. Credibility is not a speech. It's steel in the right place at the right time. That's the burden on the Ohio's crew. Be visible enough to reassure, calm enough not to start a war. As Fujian's screen edged closer, radios clicked into a careful dance. The 8 amperes overhead mapped tracks and relayed distances. On Chinese decks, cameras pointed back, proof for their own audience that US power could be counted and watched. Nobody wanted a spark, but nobody would yield water or face. Strategic signaling cuts both ways. It's deterrence written in whole numbers. Inside Ohio, the commander weighed rules of engagement against the pressure of proximity. Move too bold, and you hand the other side a pretext. Move too soft, and allies read it as retreat. Each choice here echoes in Manila, Tokyo, and Washington. If you sat in that chair, with 6 gray hulls shadowing your path, what would you do? Stay silent or surface? Type 1 to stay deep, Type 9 to rise and confront. 7:4 local time. The sea looks calm, but under it, nerves are electric. The USS Ohio glides silent at 120 feet, her sonar array stretched wide. The pings grow faster, each echo sharper, closer. 6 surface ships, Type 055 and 52D destroyers, are tightening formation, sweeping their active sonar like flashlights through fog. In the operations room, the sonar chief whispers, "Range closing 12,000 yards and falling." The captain nods. "Deploy countermeasures slow, passive." Tiny bubbles hiss out, forming a decoy wall behind the submarine. To the untrained ear, it sounds like another sub. To the trained one, it's a dare. Come closer if you're bold. Above, the 8 amperes Poseidon loops back, dropping a string of sonobuoys between Ohio and the Chinese screen. Its sensors flare with acoustic returns confirmation. The planned formation is boxing the US sub in. This isn't coincidence. It's theater politics echoing through sonar. The captain's voice stays calm. Make depth 150. Rig for quiet running. Every valve, every breath becomes deliberate silence. Deeper means safer, but also closer to the thermocline, where sonar bends and hides them. On Chinese decks, sailors line the rails, binoculars fixed on faint American shapes near Subic. Radios crackle, maintain shadow, no aggression unless fired upon. But one destroyer, Kunming, 172, drifts too far forward, its sonar beam brushes the Ohio's hull. "We're painted, sir." "Copy. Launch the bubble screen. Maintain depth. 8 amperes, mark their bearing." A burst of compressed gas erupts, false targets bloom. The Chinese sonar now sees ghosts. For a heartbeat, confusion reigns. Along the Subic breakwater, Philippine cutters stand still, their crews watching through long lenses, knowing one wrong move could drag everyone in. No shots fired, just ripples of intent. Each move sends a message louder than words. "We see you. We're ready. We're not backing off." Inside Ohio, the helmsman takes 2 degrees to port and bleeds speed. The boat slips under the layer, dials dim, voices lower. Sonar taps along the hull like knuckles on a door, the kind that keeps knocking until someone answers. The South China Sea falls silent again, but silence now feels like the loudest sound on Earth. 7:41 local time. The Ohio moves deeper, her hull groaning softly as pressure builds. Outside, the water turns darker, colder, heavier. The sonar screen flickers with new returns, smaller, faster shapes darting between the destroyers. Drones. The Chinese fleet has released unmanned underwater vehicles, weaving through the sea like metallic sharks. Multiple fast movers inbound, bearing 210. The captain leans forward. "They're probing us, don't blink." Countermeasure pods hum, ready. Each one can fake the sound of a submarine's heartbeat, but only for a few minutes. On the surface, CNS Fujian cuts speed. Her massive shadow looms like a continent. 2 Type 52D destroyers split wide, herding the Ohio towards shallower water toward the coastline, where depth advantage disappears. It's a chess game, and both sides know one wrong move could break the board. Inside the control room, sweat beads on foreheads. The sonar chief calls, "New contact, bearing 185, range 4,000 yards. Signature matches an underwater drone closing fast. Deploy noisemakers. Make turns for 5 knots. Keep it quiet." The drone's ping grows louder, seconds ticking down. Then, silence. It passes overhead, fooled by the decoy. The crew exhales as one. The captain murmurs, "That was too close. They're learning fast." Over radio, the Poseidon reports, 6 vessels maintaining pursuit. No weapons active." "Copy," replies the captain. "They're not here to fire. They're here to see how far we'll bend." High above Subic, the Poseidon tilts its camera downward, catching the faint outline of the Ohio below and 6 Chinese hulls fanning across the horizon. From orbit, it looks like a net tightening around a single dot. A long, low sonar sweep rattles through the hull. Another pulse rolls in from the west, crossing the first and sketching a cage around them. The ocean feels smaller, the silence sharper. Each passing minute feels heavier than the last. The crew knows the drill, but not the ending. If this were your call, would you hold steady or break the encirclement and show force? Type 1 to stay hidden. Type 9 to rise and push back. Comment your choice below and subscribe to stay on the bridge for the next move. 8-9 local time. The ocean is still too still. The USS Ohio runs silent, her crew straining to read faint echoes through the thermocline. Then a new sound cuts through. Fast, shallow, erratic. Not a destroyer, not a drone. Something else. Contact, bearing 085, speed 60 knots. The sonar chief calls. The captain frowns. "Impossible, that's above drone speed." The display flares with ripples, tiny signatures darting just below the surface. Swarm drones, launched from a Type 901 supply ship nearby. Smaller, faster, and programmed to rush anything that moves. Their sonar pulses come in waves, flooding the Ohio sensors and masking the fleet behind them. The captain grips the periscope handles. "They're not searching, they're flushing us out. Recommend counterfire, sir?" "Negative. We break stealth, we lose the board." The 8 amperes Poseidon above confirms. Multiple drone clusters expanding search pattern. The ocean below turns restless like rain hammering from beneath. Inside the control room, tension spikes. Contact port side impact in 10 seconds. "Hold steady," the captain orders. The crew braces. A muffled explosion booms. The hull shudders, lights flicker. Shockwave ripples through the ship, then silence. Minor concussion. Engineering reports. Hull intact. The captain exhales. They're testing us, seeing how close they can get before we flinch. Above, Fujian's escorts widen formation. What began as shadowing is now entrapment. The sea has changed, no longer open water, but a pressure cage closing in. The Ohio dives deeper, sliding under the thermocline. No missiles, no torpedoes. Just two superpowers locked in silence, waiting to see who moves first. 8:47 local time. The Ohio is deep, too deep. Hull plates groan as pressure mounts. The sonar room glows red, filled with the rhythmic pulse of distant engines. They're surrounded now, 6 ships above, drones below, the ocean closing in from every side. Contact bearing 090 closing fast. Another ping, sharper this time. The captain straightens. That's an active sweep, they've locked us. Silence. Then a low rumble ripples through the water. Fujian's escort has fired a training torpedo. Cold run only, but deadly if misread. Evasion pattern Delta! The Ohio tilts sharply. Lights flicker, gravity shifts, crew gripping rails as the submarine dives hard. The torpedo passes overhead, close enough to rattle every bolt. The sonar screen blooms white acoustic chaos. Decoy away! A countermeasure ejects, releasing a plume of gas and metallic shards. The explosion masks the sub's trail. The captain steadies himself, voice low. They're daring us to respond. Up top, CNS Fujian cuts engines. Deck crews rush to stations. Aircraft chained down. Radar tracking below the surface. From the air, the Poseidon circles like a hawk, recording everything. No missiles, no shells. But one false move could turn this drill into the first strike of a war neither side truly wants. Inside the Ohio, oxygen pumps hiss. The crew waits in absolute silence. Range to nearest ship 600 yards. The sonar chief whispers, "Too close. One shift in current could give them away." Metal ticks. Coffee cups quiver. Hands tighten on straps. No one breathes. Somewhere aft, a wrench skitters, then goes still. "Sir," the XO says quietly, "we can surface and show presence, or we can vanish beneath the layer and wait them out." The captain's eyes flick to the depth gauge, then to the glowing red contacts on the screen. Either way, they'll remember this moment. He places a hand on the console. Ahead 1 knot. Keep her steady. The boat glides forward, silent and unseen, sliding beneath the Chinese net like a ghost. The entire crew holds their breath. If you were in command now, knowing one mistake could spark a war, would you rise and confront or disappear into the deep? Type 1 to stay hidden. Type 9 to surface and face them. Comment your call and subscribe to see who moves first. 9:26 local time. The ocean is quiet again, but it's a fragile quiet like glass stretched thin. The USS Ohio drifts below the thermocline, system steady, crew exhausted but alert. No more pings, no more drones, only the faint hum of the sea pressing in. Above, the Chinese formation holds its line for another hour before easing south. Fujian turns slowly, her deck crews visible through haze. Aircraft chained down after the tense standoff. No victory claimed, no shots fired. Yet everyone on board both sides knows this wasn't just a drill. Surface tracking confirms they're pulling back, says the sonar chief. The captain exhales, rubbing tired eyes. Good. Let them have the surface. We'll keep the deep. He looks around the room, faces pale, sweat drying, adrenaline fading. Log this as completed patrol. But no one feels it's truly over. At Subic Bay, the USS Frank Cable readies to receive Ohio again. The port is quiet, but word spreads fast. Sailors whispering that a single submarine just stared down an entire Chinese task group and came back untouched. To them, it's proof that deterrence still works. To the Chinese fleet, it's proof the US won't back down. Both sides draw the same conclusion. Next time, someone will push harder. In Washington and Beijing, reports spin through encrypted channels, each side declaring composure, each quietly recalculating what red line really means. The world reads headlines about routine exercises. Only those who were down there know how close it came. Inside the Ohio, the crew breaks silence. Laughter mixes with relief, nervous, thin but real. The captain sits back, listening to the hum of machinery and the heartbeat of the ship he trusts more than words. "The sea's calm again," he mutters, "but not for long." If you were watching from above, would you call this restraint or just the calm before the next storm? Type 1 if you think peace will hold. Type 9 if you believe the clash is inevitable. Comment your call and subscribe to be here when it happens.